discovered, consistent with the description of Gabrielle "Gabby" Petito. Full forensic identification has not been completed to confirm 100% that we found Gabby, but her family has been notified of this discovery.
Good evening, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Let's get right to the developing news about the disappearance of 22-year-old Gabby Petito of Northport. The FBI, as you just saw, confirming late this afternoon that searchers found remains in the Teton National Forest in Wyoming. Tonight, all indications are it's her.
Earlier today, human remains were discovered, consistent with the description of Gabrielle "Gabby" Petito.
FBI senior agent Charles Jones kept his remarks very brief, less than 5 minutes. But what he said broke this missing persons case wide open, from Wyoming to Gabby Petito's native Long Island, New York, to where she had been living here in Florida in Northport. Searchers on Sunday discovered the remains at the Spread Creek campsite in rugged terrain in the Teton National Forest. This is helicopter video of the scene.
The cause of death has not been determined at this time.
Jones also said investigators had not yet completed a full forensics identification of the remains, but they have already carried out the notification process to the Petito family, and the grieving has begun.
As every parent can imagine, this is an incredibly difficult time for the family and friends. Our thoughts and prayers are with them.
The FBI is now asking anyone who might have been camping in that same area to contact them. This is a story that has captivated the nation. The developments changing by the day since last weekend when Gabby's family reported her missing. And tonight the search for Gabby Petito is pretty much over. But the investigation is in full swing on many levels and in different parts of the country. ABC 7's Daniela Hurtado has been covering Gabby Petito's disappearance all week, and there has been a flurry of reaction tonight. She's live for us in the newsroom. Danny.
Greg, hopeful hearts from family turning into devastation as law enforcement confirmed the body they found in Wyoming earlier today matches the description of Gabby Petito. Tonight we received statements from all involved.
An incredibly difficult time for the family and friends.
A heartbreaking update for the family of 22-year-old Gabby Petito, who was reported missing out of New York more than a week ago.
Thoughts and prayers are with them. We ask that you all respect the privacy as they mourn the loss of their daughter.
Privacy for a family whose life has a national spotlight, as Petito is coined America's daughter. Gabby's father turning to social media moments after the FBI made their announcement that the body they found matched the description of his daughter. The Petito's attorney making a statement asking journalists to give the family privacy and be sensitive of their situation. They're not ready to make a public comment yet, but will update us when they are. The statement also thanks law enforcement agencies for working tirelessly to bring Gabby home. The attorney of Petito's fiance, Brian Laundrie, also making a statement saying, quote, "The news about Gabby Petito is heartbreaking. The Laundrie family prays for Gabby and her family," end quote. As the nation reacts to the news, so does local law enforcement. The lead agency for the investigation, the Northport Police Department, tweeting out they're saddened to learn about the death of Gabby. They also say they'll work with the FBI in search for more answers.
A story that's only beginning. We'll hopefully get more updates in the investigation when daylight comes. In the newsroom, Daniela Hurtado, ABC 7, your local station.
All right, Danny, we'll see you throughout the week on this story. Now to the person of interest, Gabby Petito's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, who's been missing since earlier this week. Laundrie lives in Northport with his parents on Wabasa Drive, and his last known location is roughly 20 minutes away, somewhere in the Carlton Reserve. On Friday night, his parents told investigators they have not seen Laundrie since Tuesday when he headed to the reserve with a backpack. This weekend, more than 50 law enforcers scoured the 25,000-acre forest looking for him. ABC 7's Zach White is live from outside the Laundrie home. And Zach, what are the latest developments from that location?
From this location, the road is blocked off from through traffic only to local traffic only. And when it comes to that investigation, I've been covering this investigation for the past 2 days, and it hasn't really yielded any new information for Laundrie's whereabouts. But when it comes to a mixture of those remains being discovered earlier this morning that is presumed to be Gabby Petito, and with Laundrie still missing, I took to the streets of the people that lived in this neighborhood, and I asked them, how they really thought about the situation, and the responses I got were a mixed bag of emotions.
Still in shock. Obviously was hoping she had gotten some help.
This is kind of a crazy case right now.
Reactions from neighbors after hearing the breaking news of remains found that are thought to be Gabby Petito.
We just want to see something happen.
The search for missing boyfriend Brian Laundrie continued into its second day in a vast wildlife preserve in Sarasota County, and it ended with authorities not finding Laundrie. But Northport police did confirm that Brian Laundrie's family picked up his Ford Mustang from the Carlton Preserve, and police also stated that Brian may or may not have hurt himself. As far as other neighborhood residents, such as Caroline Rice, she's new to the area and feels a little bit helpless.
And then just watching the press conference, it's just my worst nightmare. I wish we could have helped her.
Other neighbors giving their thoughts include recent Midwestern transplants Daniel Jolly and Caden Ballum, with one expressing disdain, while the other hopes police find Laundrie.
This is a bunch of crap, man. I hope they find him alive so they can get answers and what went down.
And as far as when it comes to what's next with this investigation, that really hasn't been confirmed. So, we'll really just wait on what happens next. For now, from Northport, Zach White, ABC 7, your local station.
All right, Zach, developments changing by the day. What information has the Northport Police Department revealed, if any, tonight?
Well, Craig, we did reach out to PIO Josh Taylor, and we asked him, if Laundrie was still a person of interest, and when those remains being found in Wyoming, does that add or take away anything into the investigation? And, we really haven't gotten any answers to those questions answered tonight, but we do hope to get those answered sometime in the future.
All right, Zach White for us as the investigation takes a major turn on this Sunday. As search efforts continue, police are urging anyone with information about Brian Laundrie to contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip online at fbi.gov. All right, changing gears now, a live look outside on a very comfortable Sunday night. Meteorologist Justin Hobbs on what to expect to start the work week. Justin.
It was a tranquil night for us as we were heading out for dinner plans. Really nice out there. We had a few of those clouds mixed overhead. You can see as we were around 7 o'clock this evening, we had a mixed bag of clouds. Created quite a good sunset out there. But now as we're heading into nightfall, it's pretty quiet here across the coastal way. Temperatures still pretty mild in 70s, 79 degrees right now here in Sarasota, but it's the humidity, the thing you feel out there. It's really humid, 94% on our humidity. Winds pretty light out of the northeast, around 5 miles per hour. Temperatures across the Suncoast, we've got upper 70s in Wauchula, still some 80s lingering there, and Sebring 82 in Venice and in Siesta Key. Otherwise, Lakewood Ranch coming in at 79 degrees. Now, what about those showers? We had some of those heavy downpours into the inland areas. Well, most of that has really calmed down at this point. Now I'm pushing off more towards the east at this point, and most of it's pretty light at most. We are still watching, though, just off the coast a little bit, though, because we still have a few of these very isolated showers. In fact, my folks who are around about Casey Key, moving down into Venice, getting a little bit of this light rain that's moving in from offshore. As we zoom out, you can see we do have a few of these little what we call stragglers, and they're going to continue to move in towards the coast. Not everyone is going to see a drop of rain tonight, but if you do, this is the kind of shower that you're going to see. In fact, I want to zoom in a little closer to that shower so that you can see how small it is. And it is right now, again, moving in towards parts of southern parts of the county. So overnight tonight, most of us will stay dry. This is about all you will see. Again, this one's just gliding right on the side of the coast right now, just to the west of Venice. Otherwise, overnight tonight will be pretty much, most of us will stay dry. A few clouds overhead. Again, as we go into the overnight, watch out for a few of those isolated showers. But what about as we're heading out the door for your Monday morning commute? We'll talk all about that and when you can expect into your afternoon on Monday as well, coming up in my detailed forecast. Greg?
All right, Justin, we will see you then. Over the weekend, organizers held a protest to support the families that have had children taken from them by Child Protective Services. Demonstrators claim workers did so acting on false reports. The local protest took place near the front of the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, which is where the county's Child Protective Services is located. Other demonstrations took place in various states as well as Puerto Rico. The family of Saisha Mercado and her partner Tyron Diener, both residents of Bradenton, are front and center. Their son is in CPS custody and they're currently fighting to get him back. People showed up with teddy bears and blue ribbons as a sign of support for the affected families.
You know, and within the justice system, there needs to be reform, there needs to be oversight, there needs to be accountability when children are taken.
Organizers have titled these events Operation Stop CPS, and we have the right to be right. The crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border is reaching new levels. The plan to send migrants home, that's coming up next. Plus, the COVID-19 booster shots, who's eligible and who's not. Plus, what to expect in the weeks ahead when it comes to the pandemic. Justin.
Well, Craig, will you need the umbrella as you're heading out the door for your Monday morning commute? Or will you need it more so for the afternoon commute? We'll talk all about the week's forecast coming up when we come back.
Severe weather can strike at a moment's notice, and we want to make sure you have time to prepare. ABC7 First Alert Weather is constantly tracking weather conditions so we can alert you the moment we find out a storm is coming your way. Your safety is our priority. So whether a storm is 5 minutes or 5 days away, we'll make sure you stay ahead of the severe weather wherever you live in Sarasota or Manatee County. ABC7 First Alert Weather, the Suncoast's most accurate forecast.
Attention campers, it's the last call before fall at Gersendi's RV World. Shop motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more from top brands like Winnebago, Forest River, Coachman, and Thor. GersendisRVWorld.com. 4 convenient locations in Nokomis, Bradenton, Lakeland, and Fort Myers.
Things seem to get more expensive as the years go by. Take groceries. Prices have been going up there. And keeping up with your health? That's up too. But did you know at FPL, what you pay for energy has gone down over the last 15 years? And that's something we can take to the bank.
It's your heads up. It's your backup. It's your forward-thinking, never blinking, always at the ready step up. The Hyundai Sonata. It's your journey. Own it. Now lease a Sonata for $199 a month or get 0% APR or up to $1,500 cash back. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
I used to have to go in to the auto parts store. Pay too much, never find quite what I'm looking for. Now I just go online to Rock Auto and see all the parts my car will ever need. Lower prices, more parts, more brands. It's so easy to find the right parts fast. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Space. Concept. Execution. Introducing Insta Interiors by Robin Stuckey. Professionally designed concepts that are customized to fit your space. Visit Robin Stuckey to discover Instant Interiors to elevate your lifestyle.
Be the first to get the latest news and weather delivered to your inbox when you subscribe to the ABC7 newsletter. Go to mysuncoast.com/apps, enter your email address in the Subscribe Today box and click subscribe. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Attention campers, it's the last call before fall at Gersendi's RV World. Shop motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, and more from top brands like Winnebago, Forest River, Coachman, and Thor. GersendisRVWorld.com. 4 convenient locations in Nokomis, Bradenton, Lakeland, and Fort Myers.
You're looking at drone footage of migrants in Texas at the U.S.-Mexico border. The crisis is growing by the day. Thousands of migrants trying to enter the U.S. at Del Rio, Texas. Some are calling the situation dire. There is 100-degree heat there. Food and water are scarce. Today, flights to send them back home. In this video, you see migrants washing themselves in the river and passing the river heading toward the United States. Starting today, the Biden administration is acting to move thousands of migrants waiting in the region trying to enter the country. They are placing people on the Texas border in the city of Del Rio on flights back to their native countries. Many of them are from Haiti, a country still reeling from the assassination of its president and an earthquake last month. Nearly 13,000 migrants have come together seeking asylum. More than 208,000 apprehensions were reported at the southern border last month. That's a 300% increase from the same time last year. Local authorities are also taking action, shutting down the Del Rio Bridge along the border. The Department of Homeland Security also said it would place 400 more Customs and Border Patrol agents to help control the area, and authorities are open to sending more agents if needed. In a statement released overnight, the department said irregular migrants are swiftly taken into custody, processed, and removed from the United States, consistent with our laws and policy. The DHS secretary also said the majority of migrants continue to be expelled under Title 42. That's a Trump-era health policy enacted to allow the swift expulsion of migrants, citing coronavirus concerns. The Department of Homeland Security is trying to make the message clear the borders are not open and people should not make the dangerous journey. All right, live look outside on this Sunday night at 11:15. The lights of Sarasota twinkling very nicely. As you can see, a couple of cars out there, people winding down their weekend. Meteorologist Justin Hobbs is here with a look ahead to the work week. Justin.
Yeah, and as we're heading into the new work week, we are going to continue this trend. I know this week brings fall, but we're going to kind of keep the summer rain trend. But tonight we're pretty quiet here across at least most of the area. 79 is our temperature here in Sarasota, but it's the humidity you're feeling as you're taking that step outside. Check out the humidity, 94%, so it's very soupy as you take a step outside. We've got light winds out of the northeast, about 5 miles per hour. Temperature in Mayaca City, 76. Got 79 in Lakewood Ranch, a few 80s still on the board. Siesta Key, Venice all coming in at 80-degree mark. Into the 70s now, inland 77 degrees for Lake Placid. Most of these temperatures are going to be dropping down in about the mid-70s for the overnight hours. Now that rain inland is now pushed out, but what we're watching now is some showers that have been off the shore moving in towards land. You can see that one that's starting to clip right along Venice down towards Inglewood. So that's what I've been talking about as far as our night tonight, the isolated chance for a shower. It's very short-lived showers that will move by the coast. They move over and then they're gone. We're not looking at any thunderstorms for the overnight. It's just one or two of these storms that are going to make their way onto land. But most of us will be staying quiet for the overnight hours. Now, I want to talk about rainfall totals because we've seen quite a bit of rain in many locations, especially inland throughout the day. Well, this is the last 3 hours. So earlier today, the heaviest rain was a little bit further inland, especially Highlands County. But as of the last 3 hours, though, this rain has really not been much there. You can still see just a little bit that is popping up. Now, we do still have that flood warning that is in place for Mayaca River. So if you are planning to head over to the state park, watch out. Some of those pathways could have some water over them. That flood warning in effect until 9:33 on Wednesday. Otherwise, we are dealing with some pretty good cloud coverage, especially further inland that you have. We're getting a little bit of a break here in Sarasota right now. Zooming out, here's those isolated showers. There's the very few that are going to make their way to shore as we head into our overnight hours. Otherwise, as we head into tomorrow, morning hours not looking too bad. It's by the time we head into the afternoon. See, 7 o'clock in the morning, moving into 10, still pretty dry here. We do have a few of those showers starting to fire up right along the coast. But then as we head into the late morning, moving into the afternoon, we get a nice band of showers starting to develop right along the coastway, pushes further inland. And then as we go into the afternoon, I think better chances for scattered thunderstorms are really going to be more so towards the inland region. Some of those could hit the coast, but coast should stay more so quiet than especially those inland areas, the heavy downpours that are going to be possible into the afternoon, especially into the evening. Then as it pushes a little bit closer towards the coast at night, and then it'll fizzle out once that sun sets. Tuesday, a little different of a story. We're going to watch the showers actually move in from the east, and they'll race their way towards the Gulf. Could see some pretty heavy downpours. Rain chances looking a little bit more substantial for Tuesday compared to, say, than Monday. If you're heading out on the boat tomorrow, smooth sailing, seas at 2 feet. UV up to 8, so very high. Watch out for a few of those showers. Now, the remnants of Odette, well, it could possibly redevelop. Right now, it's a very low chance. In the next 5 days, only a 30% chance of development. But we do have two tropical storms that we are talking about. In fact, we still got Peter out here and just off to the east of the northern Leeward Islands. Winds right now right around 50 miles per hour. Now, Rose, though, our 17th name of the storm, we are running very low on the names of storms, and we'll go into that second list of names. A disturbance too as well, right around where Rose is. Could see another one develop in the next 5 days, about a 50% chance. Your next 7 days though, rain chances, yep, they're there, 40 to 50%. In fact, 50 to 60 as we head into the beginning part of the week. Kicking off the first day of fall on Wednesday with temperatures staying steady right into those mid to upper 80s. Now rain chances for tomorrow, about 40, 50%, best inland, but Tuesday a better chance for pretty much most of us are going to see at least a raindrop before the day's all said and done. We head into the fall season with, yes, that scattered thunderstorm afternoon. Summer thunderstorms are hanging around as we end out this week and even as we head into the weekend. But weekend rain chances will go back down to about 40% with temperatures into the mid 80s. Craig?
All right, Justin, we will look out for all of that. To the coronavirus and the battle over booster shots. The FDA advisory panel has rejected a plan for Pfizer's booster be given to most Americans. Currently, the CDC reports that 64% of the population has at least one shot. 54% are fully vaccinated. ABC's Zareen Shaw tells us what the nation's top infectious disease expert is now saying and what could happen next.
As the Pfizer booster shot awaits the green light from the FDA and the CDC, the nation's top infectious disease expert defending the decision by an advisory panel not to recommend it for everyone.
Were you disappointed that the panel did not recommend vaccines for all? Did you think that was a mistake?
No, not necessarily at all. We had a plan to be able to do it all, to go down to everyone, but we had said right from the beginning that this would be contingent upon the examination of all of the data that the FDA accumulated that would be discussed with their advisory committee.
On Friday, an FDA advisory panel okayed the Pfizer booster for emergency authorization for those 65 and older, as well as anyone at high risk of severe COVID, but rejected it for the general public, saying more research was needed.
I could predict with some confidence that 3-4 weeks from now, as we get more data from the Israelis and more data from our own United States cohorts, that there will be a continual re-examination of that data and potential modification of recommendations.
The CDC's independent advisory committee set to meet Wednesday and Thursday to discuss who should get a booster and when. As experts debate the current need, many agree the key to tackling the virus is to vaccinate the unvaccinated. Comedian Chris Rock says he was diagnosed with COVID-19 and posted this message to Twitter, urging people on the fence to get the shot. Montana calling in the National Guard to help with the surge.
When they're all these people who are dying who didn't get vaccinated are wishing they got the vaccination, it's wearing and it makes us angry.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Fauci added that data on potential booster shots from the Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines is a couple of weeks away and that the information will be examined in the same manner as Pfizer's. Rising from the ashes when the historic Notre Dame Cathedral is set to reopen after that destructive inferno a couple of years ago. That's next.
Trust the Wild Automotive family to be here for you. Count on us now and in all the better days to come.
This can't be good.
You've got enough to think about maintaining. Luckily, your Volkswagen is easy. The all-new 2022 Taos has a lower cost of maintenance than its Toyota, Honda, and Subaru competitors. Life's easier in a Volkswagen. Come into your Volkswagen dealer today and lease the all-new 2022 Taos S for just $229 a month.
Let us prove ourselves to you with an offer too good to pass up. Call Bullseye today and receive a free AC repair. Call or visit us online at callbullseye.com.
I used to hate cigarettes. And then I went to smoking. I want to quit smoking to support my wife. That's a big part of what she want me to do for my kids. I don't want them to get secondhand smoke. It ain't gonna be easy, you know, but as long as I got support from my family, I could quit. Family is important, man. Cause without family, man, you ain't got nothing.
Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com to find free resources to help you quit your way.
We're building
building a better buying experience, and that means better prices right now at Matthews Curry Ford.
Why pay more? Pick out the exact pre-owned vehicle you want during the regional used car distribution event. Choose from thousands of exclusive used cars being stored off-site due to construction. Select your year, make, and model, and we'll get it on the lot. Or pre-order your new Ford, and we'll give you $2,000 cash, all with a Matthews Curry guarantee.
Get these construction savings right now at Matthews Curry Ford under the giant American flag.
Barbecue chicken, hot links, St. Louis ribs, slow smoked pork. The best part of Pick of the Pig combos at Sonny's, there's no wrong way to pick them. Pick 2 or 3 of your barbecue favorites with sides and bread starting at $11.99. Enjoy them at your local Sonny's or get your picks in a click for curbside pickup, drive-through, or delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
After a miraculous story of survival, the Seminole tribe created an international entertainment icon, Seminole Hard Rock. Today, a new Seminole compact is law, creating thousands of jobs and generating billions more for the state, guaranteed, and allowing this sovereign nation to provide for the well-being of its members. A partnership of trust, sponsored by the Seminole Tribe of Florida.
Back to our top story tonight. If you are just joining us, we want to tell you about a heartbreaking update in the search for Gabby Petito. The FBI late this afternoon revealed that searchers in Wyoming found human remains in the Teton National Forest. Investigators believe it is the body of Gabby Petito, saying the remains match her description. The search for her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, continues here in Florida. Today was the second day that search parties at the Carlton Reserve in Sarasota County did not find him. Keep it here on ABC 7 for updates throughout the week.